Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
How does it feel to finally get a win over Seattle and Russell Wilson?
It's a win. You always bring up those kind of things, don't you? And you always ask questions like, well, you haven't beat these guys in 17 years, so what do you think about this time? I mean, just ask the question. Let's go, Bob.
We're out of here.
Was that the only question he took?
No, it was towards
clearly
the
at
end.
the end, I guess.
It was towards the end.
But still.
I think it was I think Bob had said two more questions, and that was one. Yeah, and
Bob,
that was one
get
of
me the hell out of here, Bob.
It's like,
you son of a.
But it's like you have to expect Zim to like put his coat on, get on his motorcycle. Bob jumps on the back, and they start to vroom, 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 and take off. Come on, Bob, let's blow this chicken stand.
Bab. Who was he chastising? Was that Chris Thomason?
Chris
from
Thomason.
Pioneer Press?
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They don't really see eye to eye, but
amazing. Well,
oh my God.
This is Purple Daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. And you know what? Beating the Seahawks is a step in the right direction. This show is presented by Surly Brewing Company. And if you're watching us on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, thanks for getting us over 17,000 subscribers and helping us set another monthly record in terms of downloads and consumptions. If you're watching on a TCL TV, even better, because TCL is a huge supporter here of us at Score North and Purple Daily, and they have a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. And I feel like there's a lot of people that have discovered this show in the 2021 calendar year, and they've heard us now do, 3 preseason games, 2 regular season games. They've heard us do 5 pie charts of blame.
The Rock knows how you feel about pie.
And like, oh, you guys are just dishing out blame all the time. What happens?
Negative.
What happens when they win? Well,
now on Mackie and Judd,
You wanted better charts that you could see the fine print on.
the pie chart of praise.
You should be singing his praises.
it's the pie
The Rock
chart
knows how you feel about pie.
of praise here for a Vikings win over the Seattle Seahawks, 30-17. Let's start with Judd Zulgad here. And by the way, don't feel like, I know Declan is timing us to make sure that we all stay at least within a reasonable amount of time. Like,
Because I went really long one time.
you went like
I
14 minutes
yeah.
one week.
right.
Over a
A lot
preseason
of
game,
pie.
by the way.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the most important time of year because that's breaking down. That's going through the paces. I was preparing for the season.
I'm just saying, don't feel like you have to make this like a minute and a half here. Like, you can explore the
No
space
pressure.
a little bit. They just won their first game, so.
Yeah, I feel like you're chastising Dex, and I think that's the right thing to
It's
do.
your guys' show. You can go as 10 minutes. I'll go 90 seconds. You know, hey, some people like it quicker. Some people like it longer. So you do whatever you want to do, Judd.
Okay.
Was that a euphemism right there? Did you
Yeah,
just make the
that's what
show
it was.
creepy? Is that what just happened?
No, I didn't
That's
make it
what it
creepy.
was.
2-minute offense or a long drive, whatever you want to do.
That's what it was.
All
All
right,
right, I'm
Judd
gonna start-
Zulgad's pie chart of praise.
The Rock knows how you feel about pie.
I'm going to start with just a small 10% chunk of pie. But it goes to a guy. So the defense did shut out the Seahawks in the second half, but definitely didn't have a good start to the game. But when you went back and looked at the stats, and there was certainly a huge play he made in the second half, I want to give a 10% piece of pie to the player I deem right now to be the heart and soul of the Vikings defense. And it's not Harrison Smith. It has been in the past, but it's not right now. Eric Kendricks.
Yeah, dude.
11 tackles, which is a lot. Led the team, obviously. A sack, 2 tackles for losses, and a quarterback hurry. And I felt like in the second half of that game, he helped provide a stability that was sorely lacking through the first quarter and a half of that game. Eric Kendricks gets a 10% chunk of pie because Eric Kendricks is one of the best linebackers, I think, in the league right now. And when he's out, like when Anthony Barr's out, I think we can talk about, well, you're missing this and you're missing that. And we're all like, yeah, I'm sure you are, but are you really? You take Eric Kendricks off the field, and it's not, it seems like you're saying, no, he is definitely missed. So Eric Kendricks, 10% chunk of pie for me. 15% chunk of pie goes to the guy who stepped in for Dalvin Cook yesterday. Nice 15% chunk because he did a great job.
Yeah.
And he continues to prove that when given opportunities, aside from the 4th and 1 in Seattle last year where he didn't get the yard, but for the most part, Alexander Mattison, when given opportunities, does a really good job. Rushes for 112 yards, 171 total yards on 32 touches. A really nice game. And I think we all said, wow, if Dalvin Cook can't play, this team could be 0-3 and they could be in big trouble. Just the opposite. Now, Mattison was not the star of the offense, but, he was a big enough threat, and he continued what this team can do with its ground game to prove that he could be a definite starter for some teams. And again, that if not all backs are okay, but you can find them. You can find them. And Dalvin Cook, no question special, but a guy like Mattison definitely deserves to play, and he did a really nice job. So I give him a 15% chunk of pie.
Yeah, he was. I think him stepping in again and showing, because he does this whenever Dalvin Cook is out. I said it on Ventline yesterday. I think he's the third best running back in the division. Dalvin Cook's the best. Aaron Jones is second. Some people are going to say, well, David Montgomery, that's more of a product of opportunity. If you gave the Bears access to Alex Mattison, I think he'd put up the same numbers David Montgomery does.
Yep.
Yeah.
15% to him. All right. Now my last two chunks. That's right. This is a small pie. My last two chunks of pie. 25% goes to a guy who did not take a snap, did not play a down, but he called a very good game. Klint Kubiak. Mm-hmm. Klint Kubiak, who I questioned, and I said flat out, he's getting the job in large part because his old man had the job previously before retiring. And Klint Kubiak's 34. He's never called plays. He doesn't have a advisor, so to speak. I'm sure he talks to his dad during the week, but not during games. He doesn't. He came up with a game plan that, one, did a hell of a job of featuring the quarterback, who we'll get to, and two, Dalvin Cook didn't play and nobody panicked. It wasn't because if you think about how this offense, when Dalvin Cook is playing, rotates around him, and it's sort of like we're going to pound the rock all day long with Dalvin, Klint didn't be like, oh my God, Dalvin's not playing, what should we do? He found a really nice, I thought, game plan that still made the running game important, but actually for sure, up the importance of the passing game. Klint Kubiak, 25% chunk of pie.
It actually kind of felt to me like they just plugged Alex Mattison into the Dalvin Cook role. If I would have told you, all right, Vikings beat the Seahawks 30-17, and the starting running back goes for 26 carries, 112 yards, and also caught 6 passes for 59 yards. Who was the starting running back? You'd be like, Dalvin Cook, right?
Dalvin.
Yeah. Right.
So they didn't overhaul anything. They just plugged Alex Mattison in, and he did pretty much the same thing Dalvin Cook would have done. Ran for 100 yards, caught 60 yards of passes. Nice job.
I am at 50% of my pie distributed already. Wow. That leaves a huge portion. That leaves a big fattening portion, 50%. And that all goes to one guy. And it's deserved. That is 2021, 3 games, National Football League MVP candidate, Kirk Cousins.
You like that? You like that?
What more can we say? Dalvin's out. They're down by 10 points through no fault of Kirk's. And they come back, and they don't just play well. They play great. And that offense had damn near the most complete game that I've seen with Kirk. I would say, personally, I think that's Kirk's most complete game. The box score is good, but for the first time, it's probably been at most a handful of times that I would say that the box score actually probably doesn't do how Kirk played justice. Kirk Cousins has an impressive box score. He had a better game. And if you watch that entire game, you saw that. 50% chunk of pie to a guy who in training camp, I think rightfully so, a lot of us questioned, didn't get vaccinated. I know internally with the Vikings that bothered a lot of people. There were a lot of things to say, oh boy, this might not be good. And Kirk Cousins played his third really solid game. I thought the Cincinnati game, he was fine. He was good. I thought the Cardinals game, he was really good. And this exceeded that. 50% chunk of pie. So I go Cousins 50%, Klint Kubiak 25%, Mattison 15%, and Eric Kendricks 10%.
like
4
that?
slices
You like that?
of pie.
The Rock knows how you feel about pie.
Wow.
Back to normal.
Nice little
Back to normal.
6 minute, 40-second pie chart for Judd. Good sweet spot there. So I disagree with your pie chart and think you are Mr. Shortchanger. And I'll tell you why in just a second. After we talk about one of our favorite partners here, Moon Motorsports, they're not shortchanging anyone.
Nope.
And quite frankly, at Moon Motorsports, they're probably giving you even more value than with these winter months on the horizon. You want to talk about power sports and motor vehicles. Moon Motorsports in Monticello is the largest inventory in the region. They're family owned and operated for 50 plus years. And you can stop by their website, moonmotorsports.com, and see why they should be your motorized family recreation source. If you're interested in anything related to Polaris, Honda, Yamaha, BMW, Triumph, Ski-Doo, you name it, the top brands in power sports, moonmotorsports.com. Check them out. Also, Minnesota Lottery. They've got these Vikings scratch game tickets. So yesterday should have been a glorious day because the Vikings won. And then imagine if you would have plopped down $5. That's it. On a Vikings scratch game ticket that can win you up to $100,000. There's a $2 Skull game that can win you up to $15,000 and secondary prizes like Vikings tickets. Just say, I'm into Vikings scratch games from the Minnesota Lottery. It must be 18 or older to play.
The Rock knows how you feel about pie.
All right, how
Mr.
did I shortchange him?
Shortchanger Judd Zolgad.
50% went to Kirk. I'm sorry, it had to go to Kirk.
You can never just give the credit where the credit's due. I'm going to start from the bottom real quickly and work my way up. I have 4 slices of pie. I'm on the clock here. All right.
Oh, you have 4 too?
Yep.
Oh, okay, but I shortchanged people.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
5% to Greg Joseph for not missing a kick.
Okay.
All right. He didn't miss any extra points, didn't miss any short field goals. I mean, he wasn't asked to do a whole lot, but he made all the kicks that he needed to make
6
in
kicks,
that game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, was it 3 extra points and then 3 field goals, right?
Yep, he did a nice job. Great job. Congratulations.
He did his job.
You didn't screw up this week.
Yep. We asked one thing of Greg Joseph after that Cardinals game. Do your job.
Do your job.
Bill Belichick popped his head in and said, do your job. Do your job. He did his job. 5% Alex Mattison for all the reasons that Judd said. He basically just stepped right into the Dalvin Cook role and did all the Dalvin Cook things. So awesome job. I'm also going to give 5% to the offensive line, okay? What did we ask before the season? Just be average. We don't need 5 Steve Hutchinsons. We don't need 5, Bryant McKinneys, like all pros. Vikings pass blocking unit is exactly 16th in the NFL this morning. Average.
That's all you wanted.
Average.
That's all you wanted.
Yes.
Instead of skull, it's average. Average. Average.
Just be average. That's all we ask. JBA. And they are. They are 16th in the NFL. And in fact, for the game, let's see here. Garrett Bradbury had a 60 rating across the board, pretty much average. I think 60 is the average rating in Pro Football Focus.
All right.
That's all we need. There was a couple train wrecks in there.
How did Rashad Hill do?
Rashad Hill was a 54.4 grade. He allowed, I believe, 3 pressures, including one very bad one in the second half.
Okay.
And that leaves me with one
85%. This is so disingenuous.
Of pie. You have shortchanged. You have shortchanged the Dagger Doctor, the fourth quarter Pharaoh, the late game luminary,
the shoeless wonder,
the shoeless wonder, the Colossus of Clutch, Kirky McClutcherson.
Clutch.
Hey, you held him to 20 points, man. You gave us a chance at the end, but I got 3 words for you. You like that?
That's right.
We do.
All right. We talk about,
like
so 85% of my pie chart of praise goes to Kirk Cousins. After, by the way, he was not on my pie chart of blame at all in week 1 or week 2.
Okay,
and so,
yeah.
All right. So one of us has been on the right side of history the entire season with Kirk Cousins here. All right. Judd snuck him on the pie chart of blame earlier. So we talk about 2 things with Cousins. The first thing we talk about is how he can't really with regularity overcome his team's deficiencies like other quarterbacks that are paid similarly, right? The Pat Mahomes, the Russell Wilsons, the Aaron Rodgers, that like those guys have to overcome oftentimes bad defense, bad offensive line, whatever it may be, and they just put the whole team on their back and they go 12-4 anyways. They go 11-5 anyways. They're down by 20 points in a playoff game. Doesn't matter. Like there's a crop of quarterbacks above Kirk Cousins that gets paid about the same that overcomes deficiencies. Well, yesterday, he overcomes the absence of Dalvin Cook. He overcomes the defense giving up 250 yards in the first half. Overcomes some pressure on third down throws. So I think the word overcome has been a big key for what's the point in paying a quarterback all that money if he needs everything to be perfect around him for your team to win, right? And so if he can overcome things like injuries, bad defense, etc., that's a new level for him, and I think he did a great job of that yesterday. The second thing we talk about, and we did a dive into this on Mackie and Judd, is when you strip away deception and play action, when the result of the game really hinges on you, how does Kirk respond? When they know you're going to throw, when it's third down, right? Like when it's last 4 minutes of a half, and the analytics show that he's not good in those situations. Can Kirk carry the team? Aaron Rodgers, for example, his best down statistically in his career is third down. His passer rating goes up on third down. His yards per attempt go way up on third down. Cousins is lesser in his career when you take away the play action, when you take away some of that infrastructure, and it's just Kirk. It's last 4 minutes. It's third down and 10. They know you're going to pass. You got to figure it out, right? Your offensive line's not perfect. Your defense is giving up 30. Like those are the situations where he doesn't measure up to some of his peers. Yesterday, his two biggest throws, I would argue, came on third down situations where the opposing team, the Seahawks, knew that he had to throw. The second quarter, 3rd and 13 from the 15-yard line. They know he's going to throw. They send pressure. And Kirk throws a 15-yard dart to Adam Thielen, who was blanket covered, by the way, for a touchdown. Puts the Vikings back on top in the second quarter. And then the second throw, fourth quarter, you got the lead, but there's 8 minutes to go. And if you punt the ball back to Russell Wilson, you never know, right? Like that dude pulls out, like look at last year, right? All right, here's the ball, 95 yards, boom, he does it. So you got to dagger the Seahawks in this moment. It's 3rd down and 5, just past midfield. And both Amir Abdullah and Rashad Hill whiff on pass protection off the left side of the line of scrimmage. There is a free running linebacker about to demolish Kirk Cousins. He's backpedaling, and he knows he's going to get his ribs caved. And he stands in there and finds KJ Osborne over the middle on a crossing route that basically daggered, because now it's like 2.5 more minutes can run off the clock. The Vikings went on to kick a field goal, and the game was over. And so the two biggest throws came on must-pass situations, pressure in his face, blanket-covered wide receivers, and he threw darts. 85% of my pie chart of praise goes to the deficit demolisher.
You like that? You like that?
The one-shoe wonder, Kirk Cousins.
I give him 50%. I'm not going to apologize.
And I still finished the exact same amount of time as Judd there.
I'm not going to apologize, okay? I give him 50%.
You just can't give him full credit ever,
You shortchanged Klint Kubiak. Why'd you shortchange Klint? He did a great job.
That's true.
I'm spreading the love around.
So 5% Greg Joseph, 5% offensive line, 5% Alex Mattison, 85% to Kirk Cousins.
You like that? You like that?
Who are you praising,
All right.
Dex?
My pie chart of praise. I got 5 little items here. 5 items in my chef pie chart. I told you that the oven was preheating the moment vent line ended on Sunday evening.
It's kind of hard to cut a pie in 5 pieces, right?
It is, though.
You can't slice all the way across. You kind of
right. Well, you just kind of slice off a little tease pies. Just a little taste. While I'm watching Extreme Rules last night, there's a little taste, and then I had a big chunk of my pie as I was constructing it out after watching that one. I'll start with 5% of resiliency, and resiliency being your backs were against the wall. It's 0-2. You have a full U.S. Bank Stadium. You have to deliver. The hot seat conversations start if you lose this game. And the Vikings, who were down 17-7, and possibly could have gotten ran out of their own building very early in this game, stepped up, rose up to the expectations, fed off the crowd. The crowd, Judd, you were there. I was back at home, but you could just tell that place was absolutely rocking, and having a full U.S. Bank Stadium played a big factor in the Vikings making that comeback.
Yeah.
And 5% goes to the resiliency of the Vikings making a big performance in front of a packed U.S. Bank Stadium. I will also give 5% to the defense, just 5% though. And I know in the second half they put up 0 points. You can maybe say, hey, they're worth way even more of this pie chart of praise. But for me, it's just 5%. There's still some gaping holes on this defense. I don't trust it a whole lot. But at the same time, 0 points, and they deserve praise. Eric Kendricks had a big day. Danielle Hunter had a ton of hurries and pressures. I know he didn't register a sack, but he was all over Russell Wilson.
7 pressures in that game for Danielle Hunter.
Bingo. Big performance from him. So 5% to the defense. 10% for Alex Mattison. I've been calling for this dude to play more ever since even last year. I know Dalvin Cook is the big payman, and Dalvin Cook is arguably a top 3 running back in the NFL, and he's a damn good player. And he's not the player Alex Mattison. He's a player above him. But Mattison, almost 160 or so all-purpose yards on rushing and receiving yesterday. He needs to be featured more. I think this is now becoming a league, too, where you have to use all of your backs. And Alex Mattison is someone who stepped in, rushed for over 100 yards, and deserves more playing time, so 10% to backup running back Alexander Mattison. Also 10% to offensive coordinator Klint Kubiak.
There you go.
Klint Kubiak with a big performance, big boy performance. By channeling my sports dad here, I've had some questions. I haven't been completely rain cloud over Klint Kubiak's parade entering week 3 like a certain member of this program was. But hey, you know what? He deserves praise. He called one hell of a game. I will say, Clint, get the read option play for Kirk Cousins. Cordell Cousins can't be rolling out on a design bootleg there.
That was a weird play. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that was. But outside of that, a near flawless executed game plan from Klint Kubiak. So he gets 10%. And then one last chunk of pie, and it goes to old Kirky boy. 70% to Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins was absolutely dynamite in this game. This is the best start he's had in his career. His first 2-3 years here at the Vikings, and he has shipwrecked some starts to the season. He's gotten off some pretty poor starts so far through 3 games. He is in the MVP category. 128 passer rating yesterday, 3 touchdowns, 30 of 38. The dude was slinging it all over the place. He had pressure in his face, and he still delivered. He didn't whittle like he has done in his previous parts of his career. Kirk Cousins deserves the entire praise here. You were down 17-7. You needed your quarterback to step up and then take the game over. Kirk Cousins controlled this entire game and outplayed Russell bleeping Wilson, who might be a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. So 70% to Kirk Cousins. So my entire pie chart, 5% to resiliency, 5% to defense, 10% to Alex Mattison, 10% to Klint Kubiak, and 70% to old Kirky boy McCousins, Kirk Cousins.
MVP.
The Rock knows how you feel about pie.
MVP. Oh, look at that. 3 minutes, 37 seconds.
Yeah, that's a 2-minute drive, baby. Well,
pretty
not a 2-minute drive.
Yeah, no, actually, you exceeded the 2-minute drive.
Seconds, but yes.
Clock ran out, dude.
We'll do, I guarantee you we'll get into, throughout the rest of the week, just some more in-depth stats and whatnot on the Vikings offense and on Kirk Cousins specifically. But now that PFF has tallied up all of the Week 3 performances, I think they have. Is last night's game on here?
I think the Vikings one just came out like a half hour before we recorded this on 11 a.m. on Monday, so I think the Vikings grades are out. I've seen people tweeting out some of the grades, at least top 5 players and whatnot.
Yep, I was talking, the Vikings game's out, and the Sunday night game is out too. So these are complete ratings up to this point.
Okay.
And Kirk Cousins is the 3rd highest graded quarterback on the season so far, behind just Tom Brady and Ryan. Ryan Tannehill is always just sneaky good.
Yes.
And I don't know, his numbers don't look all that impressive yet this season, but he's been really good for the most part the last few years with Tennessee. So Kirk, really the only quarterback in the NFL with 8+ touchdown passes and no interceptions. He also has the 3rd highest completion percentage. So a ridiculous start to the season for Kirk, and maybe Jeb will give him his proper credit if they beat the Browns.
I give him 50% of a piece of pie. That's all I'm going to give. You're not going to get more than 50% from. I'm sorry about that. It's a team game, man. I'm spreading those chunks around a little bit.
Were you spreading celebratory Surleys around after Ventline last night?
You know what?
Just I got them to yourself.
No, sir. When it comes to Surly Furious, I spread it around to all my friends. I think so. I think we got about 5 or 6 pictures of people in various places drinking Surly, but I really enjoyed the one with the, I think it was 4 guys outside the stadium.
That was awesome.
All sporting jerseys and Surly's. See, that's the way to spend a Sunday, in your Vikings jersey and a Surly Furious in your hand. Exactly. You know what? It's a Sunday, okay? It's a football game. Public drinking is absolutely fine. But, yeah, it was a fun day. And here's the best part. On Surly's Twitter account before the game, they had a listing, an extensive one, of all the places Surly and Surly Furious in particular is now served throughout the stadium during games. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm going to the game, but how am I going to drink my favorite beer, Surly? I can tell you right now, available in the stadium for games. You're never far away from a Surly, and I'll tell you this too, Surly Furious, much more fun to drink one when you're happy than when you're really furious. Surly Furious.
Wow. Well, with that said, every Monday, when the Vikings lose, we do silver linings. When the Vikings win, we do nitpicks. And so let's kind of roll this up. Judd, you start us off with your nitpick, and we'll roll it into Surly, you must be furious.
Okay, well, my nitpick is this. It's very small. Amir Smith-Marset. Okay, dude? Now, he got hurt and left the game. But this is... The ball, when you catch it or allow it to go in the end zone, puts the ball at the 25. Correct? 25-yard line. Mm-hmm. There were at least 2 occasions before he got hurt in Sunday's game where he elected to bring the ball out. And in both cases, went through a lot of work to end up short of the 25-yard line. Dude, don't do it. Like, I understand that you're a rookie. I understand you're fast, and I understand your desire to make an impact, all of those things. But the ball goes to the 25. I believe on one return, he got to the 24, and on one return, he got to, like, the 16. Take the field position.
What is it worth? I'd like to see sort of like an analytical study. Is it worth, let's say you've got 15 different potential returns where it's a decision to make, and so you could either take a knee 15 times or you could run it out 15 times. Mm-hmm. And I think the theory would be, and maybe I'm wrong on this, out of those 15 times, if you run it out, let's say you come up short 12 times, but on the other 3, you house one of them for a touchdown, and then the other 2, you run them back almost to the 50 or something. Like, does it balance out? Is it worth it for the chance that you could run one into field goal range or run it back all the way?
I say absolutely not when your offense is firing on all cylinders with a potential MVP under center.
Wow. Look at this guy right here.
Like
You like that? You like that?
Declan, what was your nitpick from this game?
My nitpick was something that happened off the field, and we touched on an event line. The whole Cam Dantzler situation, man. I get that you're frustrated and that you want more playing time. You got buried over these other cornerbacks. Some of them who have been awful. I mean, Bashaud Breeland is basically entering Drew Samia level territory with his PFF grades. Like, he has been terrible. He's not been very, very good. But when you get your first win of the season, and you also are still coming off a decent performance in week 2, where you stepped up and you got some good gracious in with your head coach, with special teams, and a nice play in the end zone too in that Cardinals game, for you to come out and tweet that cryptic thing, and hell, maybe it has nothing to do with himself and the football field, and it could have whatever reasons. I just think the lack of self-awareness there by him is really disappointing. And I'm someone, too, who I always hate in cliches, and this happens in hockey a lot, like, there's no me. It's all about us, you know? It's all about team first and camaraderie and la, la, la. But for him to say something like that after your first win of the season was pretty dumb. And I think Cam Dantzler needs to wake up a little bit, because if there was any good gracious that was built upon going into that game, it probably once again just hit a new floor. So my nitpick is Cam Dantzler with that cryptic weird tweet, which he then deleted about 15 minutes later. Cam Dantzler is my nitpick for this week.
I'm going to grab the tweet here. So he said, I'm tired of biting my tongue about this whole situation, FR, ... I'm guessing he means by the whole situation, meaning not playing while Bashaud Breeland, for instance, gives up 9 receptions on 9 targets for 102 yards and a touchdown. And
what was
7
his PFF
first downs.
grade? What's that PFF grade right there?
It was bad. It was 46.9.
Okay.
His pass protection grade specifically, I think, was even lower than that. Yeah, his pass protection grade was, well, it was 46.9, I guess. So
All right. Well, and Dantzler then did put out a secondary tweet trying to claim that his previous tweet had nothing to do with football.
I was hacked.
Which, of course, none of us bought. And then I believe he deleted the secondary tweet. So Declan's not wrong.
They hacked me. The
Yeah,
Seahawks.
well, I love it. I love how he tweets immediately after the game and then tweets, I got a life outside of football. This isn't about football.
Okay, bud.
So that's why he tweeted it right after you guys won a football game.
Well, that might have been a glimpse, and the Vikings coaches are probably saying, "See, like this is the type
No,
of
they
stuff
are.
We just want him to be a little more mature."
Yeah, I don't blame him for that part.
So, I think my biggest nitpick is not from the game; it's the first two games now are more magnified. You miss a freaking 37-yard field goal, and then you fumble in air quotes. Thought it was a bad call, but. God, even if you get one of those two road games, because you can't just do the, they should be this. I mean, NFL games are so close oftentimes that you're going to lose games in weird fashion sometimes. But if they were 2-1 going into this Browns game, then it's like the Browns game would almost be a gateway to like Super Bowl contender status after the first month. It doesn't mean that they can't still reach that. And if they beat the Browns, I think a lot of people are going to say, wow, that's. And the Chiefs are 1-2, but like that's one of the best 2-2 teams in the NFL. So my nitpick is more, wow, you just destroyed, especially from the second quarter on, what everyone thinks is going to be a playoff team with a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
Where's that team? Where's that Kirk Cousins a little more often in some of those situations? So, but hey, this Browns game is so much more fun on the horizon now because of the way they beat the Seahawks. It's one of the more anticipated games in a couple years. Stefanski coming back, Mike Zimmer, pupil versus teacher. There's a lot of fun storylines.
Stopping Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of.
On the defensive side for the Vikings, they were credited with 19 pressures of Russell Wilson in that game yesterday. Danielle Hunter had 7 of them. So the defense.
Is that broken down by halves, Phil?
It is not. It's just broken down by
I'd be curious to see what the pressures were. It felt like the pressures in the second half were substantial.
Yep. Everson had 3. Michael Pierce had 3. Dalvin Tomlinson was the highest graded overall defensive player for the Vikings yesterday.
Really? That's interesting. That's good.
I think we got to stop some of this. I hear a lot of people like, well, where's Dalvin Tomlinson been? The position he plays, you're not going to see him ever. He's there to take up space.
I don't agree with you on that. I mean, 3 technique.
You're not going to see him.
You can be seen. You can be seen. I felt like the first 2 games.
He's not a 3 technique though. He's playing 3 technique, but he's not a 3 technique.
But I felt like the first two games he didn't do much, and it did feel like we heard his name more. I mean, I think you're going to see him because you see Pierce as well. But I mean, yes, it's not going to be a play-by-play thing like when Hunter's playing well, you basically see him every single play, and it's splash plays. That's true. But I mean, he can do his job.
Yeah, he did yesterday, according to PFF. So, all right, any final thoughts from you? We have a million things we're going to discuss from this point forward the rest of the week, but just any other immediate things that you want to get off your chest about yesterday's game?
The offense operated yesterday like it should. I loved it. And when Dalvin comes back, I still think right now that the attention has to be turned towards 8. Like, keep it on Kirk. Keep the spotlight there. He's played well. He deserves it. This is not saying that Cook can't have big games and play a substantial role, but I loved what I felt was a game plan yesterday that was far more geared towards the quarterback's our star here, and everybody plays off of him, including Mattison, Jefferson, Thielen, Conklin. I think that the game plan that they used sans Dalvin really felt like a smart game plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. The Vikings ran 9 play actions in that game, which is about what they've been sitting around 8 per game so far this year. They were 6 of 9 on play action for 55 yards, but without play action, they were 24 of 29. Is that right? They threw the ball 38 times in that game.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Kirk was
24 of 29 for 2 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying.
He was ridiculous.
Gunslinger.
Yep. Kirky McClutcherton.
You like that? You like that?
All right. Don't forget to, if you missed Vikings Vent Line yesterday, go check it out. You can find everything we do on scorenorth.com and the Score North app, plus Judd's written work. And then tomorrow, Alex Boone will join the show for some meat and potatoes deep dives.
I thought that before we go, I was supposed to be furious about something.
Yeah,
correct?
we just teed you up for that like 7 minutes ago.
I wasn't furious about that. No, I just talked about them.
I'll be
I wanted
completely honest.
This is nitpicks, and we're gonna roll it into one. What are you furious about?
I want to. No, this is
I'm actually Team Zolgad on this one. I was also really confused if we were going to get to it.
This is a football.
Okay, roll the tape. I said,
right.
I said,
and I said I like
tell us
seeing
about
fans.
Surly, and then
Yep.
I said, okay, when the Vikings lose, we go through nitpicks, and I said, let's roll it all into one, Judd. What are you furious about?
Oh, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that either.
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that. It was unclear to me. You, as a point guard, dropped the ball. You threw it out of bounds.
This is
You're
J.R.
standing in
Smith
the corner
looking at
waiting
this.
for the pass.
I'm LeBron. I'm LeBron sitting there
J.R.
like, what
Smith.
the hell's going on here?
are we doing?
Because I want to be furious about one thing, and it's not Vikings, it's football. But damn it, every forum that Score North has today should mention this, okay? 31-point favorites, and you lose to a bad MAC team at home. The Gophers, 14-10. PJ Fleck, completely embarrassing. One of the most embarrassing losses ever for this program. Disgusting, embarrassing, any other word. Bench Tanner Morgan, fire Mike Sanford. Changes on campus. Mark Coyle, do something. PJ Fleck, do something. It was pathetic. The boat rode right over the falls on Saturday. That's why I'm furious. Made me drink Surly. Thank you.
I was wondering. I was like, boy, he was pretty subdued. He just brought up Smith Marset. Like, all right, I guess Judd's not that.
No, but it
fired
was
up
a
this week.
nitpick. I want a nitpicks and I want furious.
All right.
I can't roll them together.
Sorry. We will never roll them together ever again. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
That was my fault. I will own that one. Also, a shout out to our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Much like the Vikings offensive line provided some good protection, frontline protection for Kirk yesterday, Federated can provide great frontline protection and risk management resources for your company, your bottom line, your employees. So check them out at federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, that is a wrap on this episode of Purple Daily.
You like that?
Delay game.
Yes, we do. Good stuff. Go Gophers. Row the boat. Sky Yuma. See you tomorrow.